If they do this, do not marry them. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a top-ranked trial attorney, a divorce attorney, and also a globally recognized narcissist negotiation expert. And I'm going to help you make sure that you don't get caught in the clutches of somebody who could be toxic and bad for you. Top red flags that you want to make sure that you can spot before they go too far. So we're going to talk all about that in this video. So if you are new here, welcome to this channel. I invite you to subscribe and hit that bell so that you can learn how to have your power, take back your power, get to the next level of your power, wherever it is that you want to be in communications, negotiations with high conflict individuals. And to all of my subscribers, welcome back to this amazing community. Today's topic is all about the red flags that you need to watch out for when you are in a relationship with somebody who's potentially toxic, whether you're thinking about dating, marriage, maybe it's a business relationship, maybe it's a new job, who knows? But in this particular instance, we're going to be talking about dating. And if you see any of these behaviors, it's time to run like hell. All right, let's get into it. So when you're first dating somebody, it's kind of hard to see the signs, maybe because they're trying to mask it. They're trying to put on their best face, that game face. It's new, it's exciting. The hormones are flying. And they're saying all the right things and they seem super charming and they know what they're doing because they're using those mirror neurons to show up for you, to be exactly what you want to be, what you want to see. So they're like doing that guru thing on you, right? But let's go over these because these signs can be really good, accurate predictors of future problems. So these are signs that you should never ignore when you see them. So I'm going to share the signs and I'm going to share some specific examples of what they may do or say will give you pause. All right. So the first one is like rude to wait staff or service people. One of the biggest early red flags is how they treat people, how they treat anybody that's like that they perceive to be less than, lower than. You know, you're at a restaurant, server comes over, maybe they're slow getting the drinks to the table. And instead of being understanding, or maybe they mess up the order or whatever, they're like, this is ridiculous. Don't you know how to do your job? Maybe they completely ignore the server. They just act entitled in some way. They're disrespectful to the people. They perceive the people as beneath them. This lack of empathy, trust me, and this is supposed to be their good behavior. It will extend to you down the road. If they treat service people poorly, they won't hesitate to treat you in the same way once they have let their guard down. The second thing is that love bombing. Of course, they're going to try to get you on the hook right away. After only a couple of dates, they're showering you with these compliments. You're the most amazing person I've ever met. I've never felt like this with anyone before. They're giving you expensive gifts right out of the gate. I know it's early, but I really know that we're meant to be together. And they might start making big plans for the future, talking about moving in together, traveling the world, only after a few dates. And this might seem really, really romantic, but it's really a manipulation tactic. And it's designed to get you to commit quickly before you notice the red flags, because they want to lock you down. And healthy relationships progress naturally without rushing to make grand gestures. I mean, of course, it seems super nice, but this is like they want to lock you in. Fed up with narcissists walking all over you? Sick of everyone believing their lies while you're paying through the nose in attorney's fees? What if you could hold all the cards for a change? Hey, I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm a top 1% trial attorney, a USA Today bestselling author, and I've spent my entire career helping people slay narcissists in negotiations, most recently through through my proven slay method. What if your suffering could become your superpower? Imagine turning all that pain into power, not just for you, but for others too. This is your chance to take back control. You can finally win. Become a high conflict negotiation certified coach. Help others while transforming your own life and do good for the world. This is your chance. Go to RebeccaZung.com/apply and I'll show you how to turn the tables for good starting today. The next thing is that they're overly critical of exes. And you know what they say is whatever they're saying about their exes, it's actually probably a confession. So pay attention because they're saying things like, oh, my ex was crazy. They were such a drama queen, or whatever it is that they're saying. They might say things like, I was always the victim. They treated me so poorly. If they can't talk about any of their past relationships without constantly putting themselves as I'm the victim, I'm the victim, I'm the victim, it's a bad sign. It's an indicator that they don't take responsibility for their actions. They're constantly projecting their bad behavior onto other people. They don't accept their behavior, their responsibility for their behavior, for their role in conflicts. And chances are, in a relationship with you, when things turn or go south, or something arises, which it will, because that's always happens in relationships, they're going to paint you the same way. And you want somebody who's reflective, who will say things like, you know what, we weren't right for each other. We both had our issues. I learned a lot from that relationship. We wanted different things. We went different directions, that sort of thing. The next one is constantly interrupting you or talking over you or just not interested in what you have to say. I mean, they might even ask a question, but then they don't even wait to hear your answer. They're just more interested in talking about themselves. Early on in a relationship, watch how they're communicating with you. Watch if they're really listening to you, or are they dismissing your opinions? This is a huge flag. If you're telling a story and they interrupt and they go, oh my God, yeah, that already happened to me too. And then they go on about their own story. They're not really interested in your story or how you felt or how it impacted you. They're basically like telling you, I'm not really interested. It's not important to me. You're not important to me. What's more important to me is me. And they have a tendency to also believe that their opinions are more valuable than others. Think about and watch their behavior when you're talking. If they're trying to one up you, that's also a bad sign. If you agree with me, give me amen in the comments below. And if you are dealing with somebody who's like this, make sure that you get my free Crush My Negotiation prep playbook because you are probably going to need it. All right. So you can get that at winmynegotiation.com. Right. And join my free private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. You'll see a lot of people in there talking all about how they are supporting each other and the red flags that they saw. I can tell you, for me, for sure, every time I've gotten into a relationship with somebody who turned out to be narcissistic, I saw the signs early on and I pretty much chose to ignore them. The next one is testing boundaries. If somebody is testing your boundaries, you ask them, you're not comfortable with them coming into your bedroom or sitting on your bed or testing your physical boundaries or whatever. And they're like, oh, come on, I know you're shy. It's me and you can trust me. And let's just start here. And they're like really trying to push on you. That's a major red flag. Well, how about if I just stay the night? Well, how about if I just sleep on the couch? How about if I just, and you're finding yourself having to say, no, well, I really would prefer if you leave now. I would really prefer if you don't stay. And they're like, oh, come on, let me just stay. Or why don't you just stay with me? And they're really kind of pushing on you. That's not a good sign. Or if they're testing your boundaries with money, I'll pay you back. You know that you can trust me. These are all major red flags. They're not respecting you. They're not respecting your limits or your opinions, your boundaries. Okay. So this will only escalate in the future. It will only get worse. The next one is extreme jealousy or possessiveness. It can be mistaken for flattery. And it's sometimes, depending on what your own wounds are, what your own trauma is, it can feel like really, really good if somebody's like, oh, they really want me because they're jealous. They're jealous if I look at other people. But it's a really big red flag that you have to be aware of. Why were you texting your friend during dinner? Or, is that person more important than me? Or why were you looking at the phone? And why are you hanging out with that person? That it ends up being oftentimes a sign of rage, underlying rage, a person who may not even be stable. And asking these questions early on in the beginning stages is so critical, so key. Because you don't want somebody who has tendencies to, stalk, be jealous, be possessive, have rage. Those kinds of things can end up being potentially very dangerous. And you don't want somebody who just feels entitled to you, entitled to your time, entitled to your attention. I want to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these red flags early on? Which ones have you experienced? Is it on a first date? Was it early on in a relationship? Which ones did you see and you ignored? I know for sure I saw some of these in a business relationship. I wasn't even in a romantic relationship, but critical of ex-business situations, constantly interrupting, talking over. I mean, some of these can really apply in whatever kind of relationship that you're in. What did they do? What did they say that you realized that something was off? Drop a comment below and let's share our experiences so that we can spot them and we can help each other and we can support each other. If you like this video, make sure you like it, make sure you share it, make sure that you have subscribed here, hit that bell, because this will help you all. It'll help you walk away from people who are not respecting your boundaries or your feelings or your value as a person, and help all of us have a more healthy world, healthy relationships, because that's what it's all about. The more we can start to see this and spot this. Creating great retail experiences is super tough nowadays, especially for people who have multiple locations. I don't even have multiple locations, but my staff is in multiple locations. So when you've got separate workflows, it's a lot, but you can do it without all the complexity. You can have a unified command center and bring everything together, especially if you've got places all over the world or staff all over the world. I use it for shop.rebeccazung.com to sell all my courses, all my super cool merch, and it makes it so easy. And I can even offer payment plans seamlessly. It just makes it so simple for my customers to shop wherever, whenever they want. And it gives my team the tools they need to close the deal every single time. And let's face it, acquiring new customers can be expensive, but with Shopify's POS, point of sale, you can keep the existing customers happy, go get new customers, new shoppers, and have a consistent, tailored experience and first-party data that gives your marketing team a competitive edge. Want more? Check out shopify.com/negotiate, all lowercase, and learn how to create the best retail experience without complexity. That's shopify.com/negotiate. And the next video that I want you to watch is how narcissists act during a divorce case and what to do about it. Just remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I can't wait to see you in that next video. Have you ever met somebody, they started off to be the most charming, charismatic person you've ever met in your life, then they turned out to be your worst nightmare, and then when you go to negotiate with them, they're a living hell? Well, I developed something called the SLAY method of negotiating with narcissists, and it has helped tens of thousands of people in more than 150 countries win, go from feeling drained and defeated to getting the outcomes they want. And the reason why it works is because I spent more than 20 years studying narcissism as a trial attorney, and now I'm here to help you win too, and also take your suffering and turn it into your superpower. Take your pain and turn it into profit, peace, and purpose as a highly specialized high conflict negotiation coach. If you want to learn how to do it, then just go to RebeccaZung.com/apply, and I will show you how.